I feel so close to you right now.
Welcome to Phi Lambda.
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Matt, Christy, Alonzo, and kind of a big week. A lot, people are not so afraid of Captain America anymore. So at least 3 big wide releases, one of which is Neighbors 2, Sorority Rising.
Neighbors 2, Sorority Rising. And as a former drunk sorority girl myself, I feel uniquely qualified to describe this movie to you. So this is the sequel to Neighbors, and it very much knows it is the sequel to Neighbors because it's pretty much the exact same movie, at least superficially. So in the first one, Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne were a married couple with a young baby living next door to a fraternity. Now Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne are a married couple with a baby and a baby on the way living next door to a sorority. What are the odds? And hijinks ensue. Take a look.
Hi, what are you doing? We don't hit joints in here.
Your parties must suck.
No, we don't throw parties here. In the United States, sororities are not allowed to throw parties in their own houses. Only brides can.
This is a sexist, restrictive system.
We're gonna start a sorority that can party the way that we want to.
What's the name of our sorority?
Kappa.
Kappa Nu.
Yeah!
We are the first sorority that can party. Welcome to our sorority, Kappa Nu.
We're never gonna sell our house with a sorority living next door. What are we gonna do?
Maybe it's not that bad. Girls are usually quiet. They don't really take hard drugs. And they're much smarter. Oh no, I killed a girl.
I'm on painkillers, bitch! Kappa Nu!
We need somebody who can relate to stupid young people.
Hey neighbors, let's shut this shit down.
Those girls are out of control.
Get away from me! They're using their sexuality as a weapon. Someone help me!
Get out of here, you animals!
This isn't working! You're only making them sexier!
I was totally impressed by this movie. It's better than the original. It's the rare sequel that's better than the original.
I don't know that I'd go that far.
It is,
Yeah,
and it is raunchy, and it is zippy, but it's about something. I mean, it's about something without being super heavy-handed and preachy about being about that thing. It's about campus rape culture. It's about sexism. It's about women being mansplained.
I was not aware that sororities were not allowed to have parties and that fraternities are. Apparently, this is a true thing that happens in the world.
I can speak to this. Okay, so you're not supposed to have parties in your house. I was a Delta Gamma at Southern Methodist University. I'm very, very proud of that. But we're not allowed to drink in your house or have parties in your house. The fraternities can.
Why?
I don't know. I think
I realize that
nationally,
is almost a rhetorical
I mean,
question.
nationally, although not even all the fraternities could drink in their houses, it's just like some of them could. Anyway, but the sororities definitely could not. That did not stop us from drinking in the house, I will admit, or having boys over or things like that. I was a good girl in college, I promise. But yeah, it then puts the power in the guys' hands. You have to go to them to drink or drink off campus or whatever, and it definitely it changes the power dynamic. Yes.
I agree with you that they found a way to make a sequel where they could insert a new, not just a new premise, but a new idea, and I like that. I'm not going to go as far as say that it is better than the first one, but I would say it's at least on par with it. Okay. Like if the rule of a comedy sequel is like tell me the same joke a second time, they find a way to do that in enough clever and interesting ways that it's still funny and it's not just this sort of laborious retread of like, here's this moment that you liked last time, and here's this moment that you liked last time. This is okay, and tell me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Woman, spokes lady of an entire gender.
I'm
Whatever,
here
we
for
make you
you
speak for
That's
everyone
true.
that's
Yeah,
getting it,
this is
so
true.
fair enough.
All right, so it's your turn now.
Thank you.
One thing that I found kind of almost conservative about this movie is that the sorority girls don't seem very sexual. You know, like in the frat guys in the first movie were like, they had women over all the time and they were molding dildos and all that stuff. And this time it's like the gals want to smoke weed and they want to drink and they want to party. But there's like one sign up at one point where the Chloe Grace Moretz character, it's like it's celebrating the loss of her virginity. But we don't know to whom or whom's. But that's it. Like that, and I just thought, I felt like if a woman had directed or even written this movie, they wouldn't have been so afraid to let these girls want to have sex.
Well, I would say that they are maybe sexy in their own way and not in the stereotypical sorority girl way, which you see in the whatever
And
the
that's not what I'm.
Landify
That's not what
is,
I'm
Selena
asking
Gomez
for.
is.
I'm saying a desire to have sex, not to be sexy.
Oh.
Like they've got Zac Efron living under their roof for a good chunk of the movie, and nobody even like touches his ass.
No, because
Come
the
on.
joke is that he's old because
Right,
he's like
he is old.
22.
Well, okay, that's
Keep calling
true.
him the hot guy, but he's also old.
This is true.
They
But
refer to him as dad in text in front of him.
I thought it'd be more. It would have been more interesting if the women had been allowed to be sexualized, not in a look at my tits way, but in a I have a desire to have sex because I'm a.
There's a little bit of that in Everybody Wants Some.
Yeah,
right?
well,
There's a little bit of
because
that.
the whole thing is about like we're living away from home, we're away from our repressive families, we're gonna smoke weed, we're gonna drink, and we're gonna and like yes, great, but you also want to fuck, right?
I mean, but the guys who are around are like douchey fraternity boys,
Well, there is
and they
that.
want like Jacob Westaki keeps showing up and like wanting to spray them with water. From
No, I
maybe
like
that's what it is,
all
they
the
don't
stuff
like
that
the
it, I like
guys.
all the stuff that it says about rapey
Yes.
frat guys for
Yes.
sure. But anyway, that was my one thing.
That's interesting. Yeah, that hadn't occurred to me. I think that they were just being themselves, and that's who they wanted to be in this moment. And Chloe Grace Moretz does have sex. And so
It's
good
okay for
her.
women to not want to have sex.
Sometimes sorority girls don't wanna have
I'm a
sex.
believer in choice. I just given how the rest of this movie operates at the level of hedonism and of recklessness, it just seemed an odd.
And
But
they're
there's-
criminals. They're drug dealers. They're thieves. I mean, they do what
That's
they have to do
true.
to survive.
But
you
there's
know?
some interesting moments in this movie, especially with the evolution of Zac Efron's character, right? That his best friend is getting married to another guy.
Dave Franco has come out.
Right,
Yes.
has come out, and there's that moment where he's talking about describing the different types of parties that he used to have, and Chloe Grace Moretz says, "Yeah, those are really misogynist."
Yeah, they all end with
And
end
he's-
hoes.
Right, and he starts thinking about it, and there's that great bit where he's like, "Oh." Yeah, and he's like he's more and more kind of set, and you see that kind of education in him.
He
and
gets
it's-
woke, as the
he
kids
gets
say.
woke, and it's and he sells it, and that's the thing. Like I think that we're, as much as it's easy to look at Zac Efron as somebody who came out of the High School Musical series and write him off, but this dude's funny.
He's long been
very
establishing
funny.
himself. I mean,
Yeah.
look at Paperboy. Look at I would say
Me
even
and
the-
Orson Welles.
Yeah, I would say even the first Neighbors. You see an evolution to him there, where he begins to realize, oh, like I've got no life and I've got to grow up. Like I think he's a much better actor than.
Oh yeah,
all that would
he's
suggest.
made
Absolutely,
made some shitty movies, but I think he
Interesting
has a
choices,
lot of
though.
potential.
Right.
As a,
Yeah, and of course the dynamic between Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne, I always like. One thing I
Yes.
loved about the first Neighbors was that speaking of women being sexual.
Oh yeah, no, that's another thing
Right.
because she
wants
on
to
it.
have sex.
Totally.
And she's the equal, and she's not the naggy wife like you see in
Yes.
Judd Apatow movies, and she's not here either. She tries to appeal to these young girls as a woman, but as a smart, cool woman, and I like that about it. It's got some good chemistry there.
No, I agree. Because her character has been handled so intelligently in both movies, that's part of why I noticed the whole that thing. But yeah, no, I agree. She's a great performer anyway. But yeah, these movies go out of their way to not make her the scold.
Make her chickish, and then and then the Zac Efron Seth Rogen friendship is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I had fun. It felt to me zippier and tighter than the first one. The first one felt kind of shaggy to me.
All right.
Like this happens and this happens. This feels like it has more of a purpose and more of a drive to it.
Does it make a difference that we were having wine in the theater?
I'll tell you what, we had at the ArcLight.
This explains everything.
Right.
Having wine though makes it sound like we were wasted. We had a glass of wine because you could bring wine into the theater. I'd had a glass of wine. And it's so funny, when we went to buy wine and the guy behind the counter hands me the glass of white and hands Matt the glass of red.
Oh.
Sexist. I don't like white wine. So it was.
And then he handed her the funnel. Right?
Exactly.
we did beer bongs in the parking lot afterward, yes. So yeah, I thought this was really fun and smart and better than the first one, surprisingly so. So I'm giving it an 8.
I gave it a 7.5.
You did.
What did I give it?
You also gave it a 7.5.
Yeah, it's great. It could be a little tighter, and there's some cliches in it, but it's really solid. And I again liked it better than the first one.
Okay, 7.7 is our average, but it's lower than that in the tomato
It's in the
meter.
60s on the tomato meter.
It's a good week though, you guys. Bye.